Welcome again, guys, to the episode 2 of Prasidee Podcast. Let us continue our conversation with Mr. Manoj Tandon and listen to him talk about how to be prepared for starting your own business. And since he's also actively involved in mentoring startups, let's find out what is the key to get funding for your own startup. Also, watch the episode 1 to know more about Manoj. Now, let's move on to the other question. Is there any particular incident that led to a major shift in your thought process during this whole journey of yours?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So I come from a family of, and actually most of the people of my age group come from the family where parents who used to work in the government, and government was like the safest job, safest source of earning you could have had. I went into private sector because that's what the trend in those days, and I used to think, although I had this dream of being an entrepreneur, but I used to always feel that look, a job is a very safe thing, and therefore I can keep ensuring I can ensure that my income will remain the way it is. In our country, the other sad part is that unlike some other Western countries, for the government, government doesn't support you if you are not earning. There is no concept of social security or any of those kinds of things. So as long as you are earning, you are useful. The day you stop earning, you go off the radar. Now, you don't. There is nothing called a security system. So that's when I started thinking that in this modern capitalistic kind of an era which our country is now in, and the kind of policies we have, I have to figure out what should I do. The simple thing would have been to run around, find another job, get another paycheck on a monthly paycheck. But I somehow something I had not felt that was right, and I decided that look, I'm not going to be on the beck and call or whims and fancies of anyone from now onwards, at least in my life. And I said, look, I'm going to be on my own. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. This is the time for me to take that decision. So I was 53. I had a bypass yet 2 years back. I was healthy, touch wood to that, because of very good treatment that I got, very timely treatment that I got, great doctors. Uh, but I said, listen, let me take that plunge and let me do what I have always wanted to do. Um, and I just went into it. For whatever reason, and we thank destiny and God for it, I had to use my own money only for the first month. From the second month onwards, I was earning enough to run the house, and that kind of gave me a lot of confidence. And since then, we have grown a lot. Right now, we are working in Dubai, we are working in West Africa, we are working in India, and we are working now, starting our work in UK as well. So we are a team of young, a team of eager beavers, you can say, it's young and old, who are just trying to do some excellent work and make sure that our customers are very happy and we add value to them. But that's fundamentally what changed my thought process, and I decided to take the plunge. So, uh, here is what I tell to the youngsters that I meet and I'm mentoring as a part of my consulting this thing. That and it's actually it's from a movie, but I think it's very appropriate that in life you will get hit by something or the other, circumstances, health, whatever. So it's not important that whether you are hit and you fell down. What is more important is that you get hit, but you get up, you dust your clothes, and you keep moving on. And that is the way winning is done. Uh, I think youngsters need to know that, and that this is how it is, because people tend to sometimes think, "अरे मेरे साथ ये क्यों हो रहा है?" And I say it doesn't matter तुम्हारे साथ हो रहा है तो. You have to overcome it. That's the game.
All right, that's so wonderful of you to say that. Let's move on to next question. What were the initial challenges, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah. So when we started, and when I was thinking what kind of work I should be doing in the beginning, to begin with, there was this confusion in my mind, and that whether I should just start run as a regular software development company, should I start helping large companies on contract basis, and so on. So I was moving around talking to a lot of people, and what I understood was that there are a lot of youngsters who have started small IT companies, and they have kind of reached a certain level, and now they are stuck. They don't know what to do next. Part of the reason being that they don't have the exposure to understand the market very well, and so on and so forth. Uh, so I decided that I will go in the line where I will actually help them in their growth. Now, when I the initial few times when I met the owners of SME companies, there was this confusion. They thought that I am kind of a deal broker. And actually, that's probably what their experience has been in the past, and that's why they thought so. That I will kind of, because I'm a senior guy, I've worked in a company for a very long time. So I'm like a deal broker who knows customers, who knows companies, and I'll help these people broker some deal, take a percentage, and move on. And I had to explain to them that no, I will not do that. And some people were, of course, very surprised that why not, sir? And I said, listen, for one simple reason that if I do that, tomorrow when I move out of your company, which I will because I'm only a consultant, an advisor, you will not know how to sustain yourself. What I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to enable you, your company, your people, so that even if tomorrow I am not with you, your growth will not stop and you will carry on or successfully. This was interestingly the biggest difficulty I faced. It was not getting the clients, it was not meeting the people, it was not adding to my business, but it was this getting over this thought process. And their thought process probably is accurate, is correct, because this is how the market has become these days. That people come and say, I'll get you business, give me X percentage of the money, and everybody is happy. So that was my first and biggest challenge that I faced.
All right. Like you just mentioned that you were tagged as a deal broker or let's say a middleman. So, what should one do, or how should one fight with this tag or with this stereotype? Or let's say, what steps did you take to fight this?
Okay. So many things. One is, of course, for the people I met, I was very forthright. It's actually, given my experience, given my number of years in the industry, I can do theoretically deal broking. I know a lot of people. And when you are hungry for business, you do tend to take shortcuts at times. But I knew that this shortcut will not take me anywhere in the long run. So first thing to do is to resist yourself. Okay. So I resisted that urge and I did not offer that to anybody. In fact, I lost a few clients, a few prospects because of that. And that's okay. The second thing to do is to actually take every opportunity to re-emphasize this. So when I went to a NASSCOM event and I was meeting people, I would say the same thing. On my website, I would say the same thing. On all my lectures and my presentations and all my workshops, I would say the same thing. I would repeatedly reinforce the fact that yes, I can be a growth catalyst without just giving you deals. It has worked. Gradually, it takes time. I mean, these things take time. But people have begun to realize that yes, this kind of work also you can be done. The other thing that helps you is actually real successes. So when some of my clients actually started getting benefit out of it, the word of mouth has started spreading, and more people are now coming and saying, "Listen, I need that kind of mentoring, that kind of advising as well." So you have to create real examples of it.
Basically, persistence and your work will do.
Persistence and your work speaks the best. You can do a lot of marketing, which would give you the right image, but if there's a gap between image and reality, eventually it will fail. So the idea is that while you are creating the image and the right perception in the minds of people, the reality has to follow. So you actually have need some successful stories, some successful examples where you, as a growth catalyst, you went in there and you enabled them to achieve big growth, lot of growth on their own, and that is the key part. The image and reality has to match in the long run for success to happen.
Right. So all of us must be very honest to our work. All right. Now moving on. Since you're so experienced, I would like to ask you a few questions related to funding. So, how important do you think is it to get an external funding at an early stage?
There is no golden rule here. Uh, in some cases, you can do without funding. You can grow without funding. Funding can only be helpful in accelerating whatever you are doing. In some cases, you actually do need funding because the model is such that it starts paying you back but you need a corpus to start with. So there's no golden rule actually. I have not seen any one size fits all model that works. Uh, Having said that, the businesses, the when you said, because you mentioned early stage, investors now prefer to invest in businesses which have at least revenue cycle going, even if it's a small one. They want to see that there are some customers. They want to see that there are some supplies happening. They want to see that there are some vendors, and something is happening. There were days, maybe 5, 6 years back, when even ideas used to get funded, even business plans used to get funded, but not anymore. A lot of failures have happened, and people have realized that ideas or plans on their own are not investable. There are a lot of factors: the team, the market, the competition, and so on and so forth, which actually the whole package together, when it comes, then only success and failure happens. So investors have become more cautious. So they prefer a working business, even if it's a small one. So if you are an early stage company, please keep that in mind. That don't just go to an investor with a PowerPoint. It's not going to work, howsoever good it may be.
All right. So, since we are talking about investors, so when do you think is a good time to start seeking investment?
Uh, it it is only when okay, again, there is no black and white here. There's no silver bullet. First thing I must tell all the youngsters who seek investment is that, remember that while it looks like a very juicy proposition, a very nice proposition, but remember that if somebody puts in some reasonable amount of money in your venture, he's going to call the shots. He is going to impact the direction in which you are going, and rightly so, because after all, it's his money you are using. Which means that it's possible that you may have a vision X and the investor may have vision Y, and you may have to change your vision. You may have to go in a direction which is different from where you wanted to go. Moral of the story is that be sure that, do you need the investment? Can you grow without investing? Will the speed of growth, because you don't have investment, will that speed be fast enough for you to succeed in the market? If yes, I would say don't take any investment. In fact, many investors themselves say that, you look, if you don't need money, don't take it. If you can grow without the money, go ahead. Because if you bring me in, I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to put my thoughts into the play. Having said that, before you go and seek investment, make sure that your business model is workable. Before you go and seek investment, you must ensure that you have enough proof to show to the investor that when he invests X, he's going to get a return of 7x, 8x in some reasonable amount of time, with some reasonable amount of effort. And when you have reached that stage, and if you do need money, that's the right time to go and ask an investor for the money.
All right. Hey, thanks for listening to the second episode of Prasidee Podcast. We still have a lot to know from Manoj, that we practically had to shoot our third and last episode with him, where he talks about dealing with the fear of failure and depression, which is prevalent among the startup entrepreneurs. Please find all the details of this interview in the description below and podcast show notes. If you liked it, please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. For latest updates, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.